Operation status quo. Operation status quo. Prepare to engage. Operation status quo. Ready to engage. Operation status quo. Engaged. Engaged. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Operation Status Quo. It's true. We're here. We're back. Run for your lives. Hey-o. I should come on. Let me lower down. I thought I lowered down my voice. Oh, okay. I thought I lowered that down, but I guess I didn't. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, hello. I should come on I was just thinking before I started the show. I should come on each show and be like, welcome to Operation. I'm Pete.Palma. Welcome to Operation Status Quo. Breaking news as we come on the air today. Donald Trump took a shit. Putin sniffed the shit, and then Netanyahu threw it at Palestine. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, it's breaking news as we come on the air. That's like what David Muir does every time he comes on. Good evening. Welcome to World News. We have breaking news as we come on the air tonight. Every single time he comes on. Welcome. It's breaking news as we come on the air today. Breaking news as we come on the air. Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. You're breaking our brains, for God's sake, Mr. Muir and the fake media and all that crap out there. I don't mean fake media in the same way that Trump does, I think, but it's like the whole thing's fake, including him. All right. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, you know how we roll here on Operation Status Quo. I am Pete.Palma. I am your user-friendly host. This is Operation Status Quo. Obviously, I said it 10 times now. This is the place where we observe the status quo of life. We learn to flow with the status quo of life. And then, of course, we create our own flow of quo, because that's the only way to go. So what are you doing out there today to create your own flow of quo? Let me know in the comments below. And remember, if you're not living your flow of quo, you are most certainly living someone else's flow. And that is an absolute, where's the bell? Here it is. No, right here on Operation Status Quo. All right, today is the 24th of September in the good year 2025, and today's program is entitled Kill My Will. That's it, because that's what's going on in the world today. When you watch all the craziness that they show on the news all the time, it's almost like intentionally, purposefully done to try to break every possible link to your soul that you have left. That's why I said it's funny about with David Muir when he comes on every time. Or if you think about it, just from a programming point of view and how we speak here on Operation Status Quo, and realizing the higher powers that be are one conglomerate working together, not really so much these separate entities fighting amongst themselves. It's a higher level of operation going on. And if you think about it, when has David Muir ever kind of come on TV and said, "Oh, hey guys, it's Dave. How you guys doing today?" Not, honestly, things are pretty good today. Not too bad. It's like every single time any of these stations, right? It's always breaking news. Oh my God, this happened. Oh my God, that happened, and all that stuff. But they never come on and just be like, "Hey, how's everybody? Hey, before we get started, and tell you about the horrible volcano that wiped out a town, and how these drones went into this country and blew up 32 apartment buildings with full of babies." Before we get into that, let's just start. How are you today? How are you doing? So that's what's going on today, and I guess we'll kind of preference to the kill my will kind of was the thought process in my mind for a couple of reasons. Just my own journey in a sense through of the changes I've been making and the work that I've been doing and trying to get things out there and such, and and how it goes, and you have to just stay strong and really believe in yourself, whatever it is that you do. If you believe in it and you love it, then you just do things, and you're not so much. It's not so much about you're not what I mean is, if you do things in harmony with yourself, you're not looking for accolades, and I wouldn't say you're not looking for somebody to appreciate it, but of course people appreciate your work and stuff, but I you know what I mean. I just mean when you're doing something from your heart, it just kind of flows and you do it. Now you got to believe in yourself and believe in what you're doing is true to you, and not worry about the outside circumstances that may make it seem otherwise at times, right? So kill I mean that on a personal level for each of us when I say kill my will, because I think the way the world is going today, it's pushing people. Well, it's to me, it's pushing people in a way of choosing to believe in yourself and do things in a different perspective. Whereas I should say, it can, for those of you who don't think that way, or those people out there who don't think that way, can look at it as more as things are getting harder to hold on to. You feel more trapped and more inclined to do more things of what the oppression tells you to do, because you don't want to fall short of being able to acquire what it is they have to offer because you're finding your security, identity, and such within the parameters that they're setting, as opposed to, that's what I'm saying, it's a very dynamic time right now in human history and the growth of our consciousness and such. And that's what we try to explore here on Operation Status Quo, and to have the realization that it's not just like, again, like we always talk about here, it's not just with the world and this is happening and this is what's going on and it's affecting us. Really, it's reflections of all the inner turmoil on a higher consciousness level, and then for us to make the decisions to decide how we're going to work through it, or if we're not going to work through it. I mean, it's all a choice. It really does. It's not like a good or bad, right or wrong thing. It's just really opportunities and choices being presented into which way you want to go with it is up to you. So, I feel personally, when I say, don't let them kill your will, I'm laughing at myself because anyway, but stay strong in who you are and what you believe in, and continue to do that. And also, as everything is changing in this time, I really feel it's a good thing. When I talk to people sometimes and they're concerned, or they talk about what's going on in the world. There's this one neighbor of mine that was talking about the vax issue and what's going on with that, as far as it not being recommended by the, us being supported by the government and all, whatever people believe in, whatever that stuff. And, she really went on a long thing of talking about how all the updates that she gets through different jabs and stuff. And she's concerned about the population because people are going to think they're not going to take it. And I just I didn't get into my beliefs about all that per se, because it's not really important. And the truth is, as I realize, in these times, it's not about making your point correct. It's not about fighting someone else's belief. It's about living your belief. The point of view I'm making from her speaking about, what she feels as far as this vaccination issue brings a lot of fear to her, right? And she's choosing that. It makes her life worse, is what I mean, because she's choosing to give her power away to believing the necessity of that, not only believing the necessity of that particular issue and that particular usage of that thing, right? But she's also giving her power away into the people above that are saying what should and shouldn't be, whatever side you're on. Again, we should be going back to kind of ground level and growing our own food. I know it's that's not a 1, 2, 3 thing, but in general, we should. Why are we trusting these higher levels to feed us, to clean our water, to provide us with energy, and we're at the behest of whatever they say? Whatever side of any policy you may or may not be on, it really doesn't matter, because one day they can say this is policy, and the next day now it's not policy and this is policy, and now all of a sudden you might not agree with this, and you've given everything away in your power to the system because it was okay with you when it was over here, but now that it's over here, it's not okay with you, but now you're already entrenched. So, right, and that's what I'm trying to say. And I think, as I talk about all the time, what's going on in the world today, it really, really is just reflection points and opportunities for change and growth, because it's showing how BS everything is. And as a matter of fact, I wasn't really going to speak on it, but I will speak on it quickly, because RC3, let's give a round of applause for our good buddy RC3, ladies and gentlemen, a proud supporter of Operation Status Quo. Heyo. RC3 used to join us on the live chat quite often, but his schedule changed recently, so he's not able to make it as often for the live chat. But he does still tune in, and he was curious about how I felt regarding what happened with Jimmy Kimmel. And of course, the first thing I would say, especially if I was looking at it from the lens before COVID, right, just the way I thought of things in certain ways prior, even though I didn't necessarily, Jimmy was okay. I watched him for a while some years ago, but I had stopped watching, even before COVID, but, he just got annoying but to me, but first and foremost, of course, I believe in free speech, and, the idea that the government would come in and take somebody off the air, because they don't agree with a comment that that he made or something, you know, that would be something as my younger idealistic self that would say, well, you know, it's time to take the torches and the pitchforks down to the Capitol and start talking to people, you know. But I see it differently now because I look at it as, first of all, just remember this, you know, a person like that, Jimmy Kimmel, is not on that level of platform on a network like that, just like he just made it there and he can do whatever he wants type thing. Like me, like they're not going to put me today. I'm not going to go on ABC and do a late night show because I'm going to talk like this, and it's you're only he's coached in a sense. I mean, there's parameters of what he can do. Again, the whole thing is a machine. I'm not trying to make it all conspiratorial in a sense, but I mean, there's social norms and acceptabilities and whatnot that they want to program into the general consciousness. How do they do that? They do it through the sporting events. They do it through the late night shows. They do it through musicians. They do it through the actors, right? And it's subversive because it's not everybody. Some people kind of get a chance to, like Joe Rogan. How real is Joe Rogan? I don't know. Like I'm questioning everything. He speaks freely. He talks a lot of different subjects and everything. And he would be considered on, you know, a different side than Jimmy Kimmel probably. But is he programming to you know, reach a certain demographic with certain information? And again, I'm not saying it's all done in nefarious ways, even like for people who think, you know, don't like Jimmy Kimmel and think that he's, you know, whatever, not to use left and right, but, you know, those terms that we are unfortunately engrossed in now, is he bad, you know, or is he reaching a demographic through a means of what a certain group wants for people to think of as acceptable and normal, and how we are, quote unquote, not just allowed, but should say, interact with one another, how we should speak with each other, what boundaries we should give. You know, I'm saying they're programming all that stuff into our consciousness as opposed to us really being true with ourselves. Again, if we really understood and knew the depth of the truth of our own spiritual essence and our meaning of our lives here, and the larger picture, multi-dimensional, beyond our 3D paradigm of this little mainstream narrative that we live. If you can open up your mind to the idea that there is so much more beyond that, or just to ask yourself the question, what if there's more than just 9 to 5, just corporations running everything. What if, right? If you can ask yourself that kind of question, at least it gets it started to say, well, we can do things a different way. And why are we doing things in this certain way, right? I mean, I'm looking so much to not make it a us versus them type thing. I'm saying it's coming at us from all sides from a higher level, but it's all projecting into the population for purposeful thought processes to take place. Hold on, let me check my chat, ladies and gentlemen, because we got Tommaso, the real estater, the realtor. I don't know why I said the real estater. The realtor, Tommaso, the realtor. Ladies and gentlemen, give a plug real quick. First of all, he says, "What up, bro? Yeah, what up, bro?" And this is the real definition of being woke. I don't know, is that what is the real definition of being woke? Because I know it's not me. Anyway, but Tommaso, ladies and gentlemen, if you're all, and I'm going to speak on this because even though I myself am a licensed realtor in the area, I would defer you to Tommaso, the realtor, because Tommaso does a great job. If you're in the Tampa Bay, St. Pete, and surrounding areas, you go. Listen, this guy, he'll go anywhere. So wherever you want to go, he'll go to the tips. He's got to be in Florida though, because that's the only licensed in Florida. But he'll go from Tallahassee to the Keys for you. Yeah, he will. Tallahassee to the Keys. Tallahassee to the Keys. Tommaso will do whatever you please. Get you in a home. Get you in a home. A home that you can call your own. Yeah. Hey-o. What do you think about that, Tommaso? May I make up a commercial for you? All right. Thanks for being here with me on the chat. Tommaso, the realtor. You can look him up, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So, yeah. And that's kind of like what I had with all that as far as, just trying to look at everything from a different space. And like, again, we can, and just to go back to saying kill your will, you can look at life. You can look at life and what's happening what we perceive as happening, because remember, it's all a show in a sense, believe me. Okay, I'm not going to get deep into it. I'm just saying it's like it's such all the to me, like even them taking Jimmy off the air and then putting him back on, it's just, to me, that's the same thing as like when Coca-Cola decided to create New Coke. It's like, oh well, sales are down, or we need some attention, we want to cause a boo. Next thing you know, Coke cancels Coke. Now there's New Coke. Now it was a big thing for anybody who remembers back in those days. People were confused. Oh, they don't like the New Coke. They want the old Coke back. And the New Coke tastes like Pepsi. Then there's the challenge. They take the challenge, the Coke Pepsi challenge, right? I'm saying it was like, this is soda, man. This is freaking soda, right? But I feel like it's the same thing. It's like always like a bait and switch and a some sort of something to jar the population. You pull Jimmy off the air, makes it look like a big controversy over free speech, and then they fight, makes it look like they fight back, and we're not going to stand for this, and they put him back on the air, but they know what they're doing the whole way. Hey, we'll come off the air, we'll go back on the air. It's like Ross Perot. I'm in the race, I'm out of the race. I'm in the race, I'm out of the race. Got my charts, got my graphs. Remember Ross Perot, by the way? I used to love Ross Perot is the best. Let's see here. Tommaso says, being woke really means knowing what you're talking about. Yes, thank you. And yes, I don't like to use the term, woke gets a little bit confusing. I like to call it awake. Let's say awake, or aware, as opposed to, only because of the political association with the term woke. But I understand what you're saying. I appreciate it. And you're welcome for the commercial. That's free of charge, and I'll be happy to do that for you anytime, Tommaso. So you could join in on the chat too while you're here live, and we can have conversation. It's a beautiful thing. But yeah, going back to with the Coca-Cola thing and Jimmy, the comparison, I'm saying, like, they already knew they're going to pull him off the air, right, and then put him back, and it causes all that. And it's like, but again, it's purposeful social programming to bring up the conversation and to get people incited. And again, it doesn't have to be for a bad thing. I do think there is no good or bad. I say it all the time. I can take myself a breath. There is, it's levels, and it's just all one thing, and cycles, right? And we're at a space now where humanity is cycling out of one phase into another phase. So this is what we're seeing, and the path is there to be chosen. That's why we're seeing everything we're seeing in the ways that we're seeing it. It's not to get upset, not to get worked up. It's about getting. It's about making choices of which way you want to go. You want to live from inside and connect and move upward, or do you want to, close yourself off and live from being pushed down on from the top? It's basically as simple as that, ladies and gentlemen, right here on Operation Status Quo. Let me lighten the mood, a little harmonica. That's for you guys. It's out there. Yes. Tommaso, the realtor, says they stole the term woke. Yeah, now we got to fight about that too, right, Tommaso? We got to fight for our term back. All right. Hey, by the way, I'm looking at my background. I know I mentioned that I got this sauna a few episodes ago when this was new. I got to tell you, I've used this thing multiple times now. It's like it gets like way hotter than my old one does. I feel like I'm dying in there, but it does a great job. And I had a really good. Used it today, as a matter of fact. I had a really good sweat. I purged the system, and then I went over and did my dipsy doodle in the pool, and I, refreshed my chakras, and I'm feeling good today. So I didn't mention it, but of course, it's how we do on Operation Status Quo. We're going to move on, and I do have a guest that's sitting on the satellite, the Starlink Operation Status Quo Starlink satellite, ladies and gentlemen. And after our guest, I'm going to get to some fun, some cool information about fall. We have entered the fall season. I love fall; it's my favorite time of year. So we're going to talk about fall for a few minutes once we get through this. And it's just so funny that I meant to say that too back in the beginning. To say that too back at the beginning, but come on, you guys that are with me, you guys that know me, I used to enjoy the banter. fun just to play and enjoy life, right? I mean, gosh, why are we taking things so seriously? I was like, ding, 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 ding. There's no reason to be serious. All right. I wasn't sure what the tones I was hitting there, but all right, let's go. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm keeping my guest waiting here, ladies and gentlemen. If we could, let's go over to the Starlink satellite. I have to be honest. I'm a little bit nervous about this, but let's do it anyway. We do have a good friend, I hope so, of Operation Status Quo. Ladies and gentlemen, if we could welcome, it is Vincenzo. How you doing, Pete? Let me tell you something. Just got to clear my throat there for a minute. You got me really upset here, all right? We got some real problems.
Hey-o.
Whoa, Vincenzo, slow down. What do you mean we got problems? What's going on? It's my ma. She keeps talking. She's working with you on this goofy stuff you do. She's got her face plastered all over the place. She's talking about my business. She's making problems. My customers don't want to work with me. Oh my gosh, you got me scared there for a second. I got choked up. I apologize. Oh, listen, I met your mom, and she was a real nice woman. I relate well to her. I'm so apologize that I coughed like that. Relate well to her, and we just started talking, and then she was interested in participating in some regard. No harm or ill intention was met. You got to be kidding me. You're telling me you don't mean any harm. You don't mean any ill intention. But in the meantime, I got people with eyes all over me now. Like, oh, Vincenzo, your mom, she's crying all the time. What are you doing, your mom? You're making problems. People are watching me. You understand? I got a business to run. Do you understand what I'm talking about? And listen to me. I want to make this very clear because I don't have a lot of time, and I don't even want to be with your time. All I'm saying is, unfortunately, I love my mother. So it is what it is with that. And other people that are going to cause problems, they're going to have to be the ones that get out of the way. Now, do you understand what I'm talking about? I don't want to cause any problems for you per se, but so far you're causing problems for me, which equals problems for you. All right, Vincenzo, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to intrude or cause any inconvenience into your life. I'll speak with, Mama, and if she reaches out, I can let it go, but if she wants to, I'll try to keep things low key or, whatever you feel is best. I think I already made myself clear what I feel is best, all right? So I'm going to be keeping an eye on you. I'm going to be keeping an eye on her. I'm going to keep an eye on these other goofy characters you got popping around in my life. All right, I don't need it. I don't want it. So, and I'm just giving you fair warning. All right, fair warning. So just mind your P's and Q's, and hopefully I won't have to talk to you again. But for now, talk to you later. All right, Vincenzo.
Hey-o.
Sometimes, I don't know, I think I might have to get rid of the Starlink OSQ satellite. And, it's too much. It makes me nervous. I don't know what's going on. These people call, they want to come on, then I'm kind of hit blindsided. Excuse me. Oh, my gosh. My throat here. I guess that's too much talking today. What's going on with this? Let me refresh this. We're going to do some historical facts about autumn. I don't know if I said autumn. It is autumn, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? So it's a great time of year. I enjoy the fall. It's beautiful, the change of seasons and such. Not so much as here in Florida. It's just like it just cools off enough that maybe you can't go swimming. But it is beautiful. I notice even here now, like the leaves are like falling off the trees already. They don't really turn colors here. They just get brown and fall off. It's like so. But anyway, it is beautiful time of year. I really enjoy once we get, especially into October, and I love Thanksgiving. It's a fun time of year. Even if I'm by myself, it doesn't matter. I just love the atmosphere of that. And then it's Christmas, and before you know it, you're watching the same 4 Christmas movies like on AMC or FX or whatever every day for 2 months. All right, here we go. Let's see some historical facts about autumn, ladies and gentlemen. If you're interested, stay with me. Bobbing for apples was a UK dating technique. In the UK, from as early as the 14th century to the 1800s, girls marked apples before dumping them in a barrel of water. As boys would bob for the apples, future couplings were determined. So there you go. It was said that if the boy bit the apple on the first try, the pairing was fate, and they were made for each other. How can you believe that? I wish we could do that now. It'd be nice. You just go to a fruit stand, a bunch of guys and girls, you swap some fruit, you eat some fruit, you see who works out. But see, this has changed. Like back in the day, the boys would bob for apples, and whoever's name was on it. Now, they actually dunk the girl's head after they're married for a little while, and they go out for a while. Now they're actually sticking the girl's head in the water and saying, unless you can get an apple, you can't come back up. And it's a 50-50 shot, because some people have a little more dexterity with their teeth than others. Candy corn was originally called chicken feed, although, because it looks like little pieces of corn, I guess, right? So it was like chicken feed. I've never liked candy corn. That's another autumn fact, historical fact. I can't stand candy corn. It was like one of the worst. I never understood it. Just even looking at it, it makes me feel sick. I don't know what it is about candy corn. I never, ever liked it. Since roughly half of Americans were farmers in the 1880s, candy manufacturers produced agriculture-themed sweets for the masses of American farm children. So there you go. They would call it chicken feed. You would still be eating like a clump of sugar that's killing you, whatever. But they started out nice in the beginning. Thanksgiving gave us the TV dinner. Swanson salesman Jerry Thomas thought of the idea for frozen dinners in 1953 after seeing that his company had 260 tons of frozen turkey left over after Thanksgiving, sitting in 10 refrigerated railroad cars. That's per the Smithsonian. Oh my gosh! So I don't know if we can believe that or not. But hey, whatever. It's fun for the show. Since the refrigeration in the train cars only worked while in motion, the train moved back and forth between Nebraska and the East Coast until a better plan was hatched. So, oh my gosh, why is this? Let me take a sip of water. I apologize for this coughing. It's very unprofessional. Maybe it's the chlorine in my throat. All right. I'm not even going to make like one of those dirty jokes that you guys might be thinking out there. Okay. Cause I don't do that anymore. I'm good now. So anyway, they had all this turkey left over. That's how they started making TV dinners. That's how they started getting all that extra unnecessary sodium additives and preservatives and all that shit into your diet. So you can thank, what's his name? It was Swanson salesman Jerry Thomas who decided we got 260 tons of turkey to do something with. A Monster Mash was banned in the UK. BBC released an article titled 8 Songs Banned by the BBC for the Strangest of Reasons. In 2017, it explained that Monster Mash was banned because the BBC failed to see the funny side. They viewed the lyrics like it was a graveyard smash as too morbid. While this 1962 song was number one on the American Billboard charts, it didn't reach the UK until 1973, where it went to number 3. So they thought that they were really talking about smashing up graveyards, and I guess they didn't get that it was a joke. How could you listen to that song and think it was anything but some sort of parody? All right, let's see. The Thanksgiving date was set to help Great Depression recovery. The specific day and even month to celebrate Thanksgiving varied between presidents until President Abraham Lincoln declared in an 1863 proclamation, if I can get my words out, ladies and gentlemen, that it would occur on the last Thursday of November. So there you go. Thanks to Abe, good old Abe, did it to. But then it says, however, mid-Depression, Thanksgiving was going to be on the very last day of November. This concerned President Franklin. Oh my God, was this like a That's like a lot of talk about. Hey, you know what? Who the frig cares? Thanksgiving, we came over here, we slaughtered the natives, we celebrate the day. It's fun for the whole family. Early pumpkin pies actually had pumpkins as the crust. Yes, they didn't use anything else but American Americans in New England were obsessed with pumpkins. They brewed pumpkin ale. They added dried pumpkin to flips, and they stewed pumpkins as vegetables. Pumpkins as vegetables is very good. I had that when I was in Bali, Indonesia. It was like the most delicious pumpkin. I came home, actually bought pumpkins and ate them for a while because I loved it so much while I was there. You say blah blah blah. One of the earliest New England pumpkin pie recipes involved filling a hollowed out pumpkin with spiced sweetened milk and cooking it directly in a fire. That sounds pretty good, right? All right, let's see here. Anything else? Let's finish with, let's just do two more. We'll do two more. Trick-or-treating goes back to the Celts. In what's now called Ireland, the Celts dressed up like evil spirits to celebrate the end of the year. Why would you do that? Why evil? They believe that as the year transitioned to the next, the dead and the living would overlap and demons would roam the earth again. Do they want demons to roam the earth again? I guess they did. Dressing as evil spirits would fool the actual demons. Oh, I see. And the living Celts would be left alone. So spirits from a demonic world would come back and see somebody with a sheet over them and believe it's a scary ghost and would never come back. That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Oh, gosh. Here we go. Well, let's see what the last two are. Let's see which one I want to finish with. Okay, we'll finish with this one here. Jack-o'-lanterns came from an Irish legend. This fable comes from, again, we're back to the Celtics. This comes from Celtic Ireland. What is this? I'm sorry that I read so fast and the words are so small. I apologize that I trip over myself sometimes. This fable comes from the Celtic Ireland during Samhain, their October 31st holiday marking the new year. On this night, evil spirit. Oh, I guess it's the same thing. It's the same. They were trying to protect their families and their homes. It piggybacks off the why they're dressing up in the trick or treating. But they didn't talk about trick or treating. They talked about. I'm confused now. Forget it. Forget autumn. Let's go right to the winter. That's it. I've had it. We're done. All right, that's what we got for you here today on Operation Status Quo, ladies and gentlemen. I think Vincenzo threw me off. Hey-o. All right, hey, thank you so much for your time being here with me today on Operation Status Quo. If you haven't done so already, please take the time to like, subscribe, share, send this out to your friends, your family, those you love, and of course, those you despise as well. I love each and every one of you out there, individually as well as a group. God bless you. Please be sure to visit pete.palma.com. Check out the Happy Day album, now streaming on all your favorite music streaming platforms. And until next time, Operation Status Quo, disengaged.
Is a boulevard of 10 short blocks.